Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Okay. Woof. Um, uh, okay. Marklin, hello, Marklin. Yes, Marklin, I don't have a schedule set up, but I shall. All right. Let me see here, folks. Let's see here. All right, guys. Who do we got? Who do we got? We got some good news today. I guess that's not good news, but it's news. Let me first take a look who we got here. Macy, of course, Macy. Our lovely, our great, what is it called? Our community organizer type folk person here in the Discord. Let's see here. Macy's here. Macon, hello, Macon. Glad you're here, Macon. Demosthenes Eqr is here. I hope I pronounced that right, Demosthenes. I can't really remember. But that's great. Tiago, hey, Tiago. And why would I judge you for trying to buy a piano, Tiago? That's a great idea. Do it. Hello, Tiago. Hello, Mithril. Hello, Mithril from the UK. Hello, Mithril. Um, Alyssa's here. Hello, Alyssa. Gosh, a lot of folks are here. Okay. Let's see who else. Meowzord. Meowzord. TT is just thirsty for some Kool-Aid. Yeah, I got Jonestown. Maybe we'll do a stream sometime about Jonestown. That was a very interesting situation there. All right, let's see here. Okay, who else? Who else? Who else? Toya, Toya, Toya. Hello, Toya, Toya, Toya from Brazil. Hello, another original here. Mohammed Elbaz. Yes, free Palestine. Absolutely free Palestine. Um, Unbelievable situation there. Okay, Meowzord. I mean, believable, unfortunately, but okay. All right. Marklin. Hello, Marklin from Twitch. Okay, thank you. I will do that, Marklin. I will add you on Discord. Sounds good to me. Chase Nightmare Zero just followed. Thank you, Chase, for that. Radon, hello, Radon. Another original here. Is it my is my what is it called? Is it too quiet? Is my mic too quiet? Um because I didn't put the gain up. Well, maybe I could put the gain up a little bit on the mic here. Veronica is here, okay? Hello, Veronica, another original here. I had a doctor's successful visit, had a successful visit to doctors finally. Well, that's good. I'm very glad, Mithril. Um, Macy, how dare you? I listened to all of you. J-Mac, hello, J-Mac. Welcome, J-Mac, okay? Maybe I should, maybe the gain is a bit low. I tested it all beforehand here. I can turn up the gain a bit. Here we go. Is that better? Does that help a little bit? A little bit more gain there? Maybe that'll do something, help us out a bit here on the stream. Um, uh, yeah, everyone else needs all the gains. Okay, hopefully that helped a little bit. Okay, folks. So, boy, did some interesting stuff come out today about the dear leader's economic woes that he's causing. So let's talk about that, shall we, real fast? We have a few things we're going to do today. It is Friday. Yay! I'm sure, well, hopefully for many of you, that means you're going to get a few days off. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the jobs report that just came out, which does not look good at all. Shocking that some of the things that Mango Mussolini has been doing has been bad for the economy. And then we're going to, I have a little game we can play. It's sort of a quiz because I'm a teacher. I can't help myself. And then we will kind of just casually chat. Yeah, Liz, I forgot. You work Fridays and Saturdays, is that right? Anyway, so we'll do some casual stuff after that. I don't want to do much intensity today since it is a Friday. Everyone needs a psychiatric break. Let's put it that way. Okay, guys. So first thing here, new jobs report came out, and it is not looking good. Okay. JMac, JMac says, how can we even really trust the numbers with him firing peeps for providing stats he doesn't like? Well, that's what's interesting, JMac. He did fire the person who was doing the stats, okay? And yet The new job numbers are horrific. Okay. So if he intended them to be good now, they're not. But I do see what you mean. All right. I do see what you mean. So let's take a look here, folks. Let me give me what's thinking here. Okay. So let's take a look here, folks. I'll pull this up. Yeah, J-Mac, you're absolutely right. It could be more horrific, but certainly the propaganda isn't working well. If the fake numbers they're putting out are that bad, then that's still not good. But I see what you mean. Okay, we really can't trust it, and it could be further revised. So on this screen here, I just wanted to show you a brief little video. This is from CNN. Never fully trust CNN for a number of reasons, but they typically do good factual reporting when it's just factual. Don't listen really much to. Sometimes their commentary is very off. If it oftentimes is very off and very pro state and things like that. So, but this is a good little segment here. Let's just listen. Let's see what they have to say.
Slowed to a crawl last month. I want to bring in CNN's Matt Egan, who joins me now. So, what are these numbers? What are we seeing in this?
Well, Omar, look, after years of resilience, the U.S. job market looks increasingly fragile, especially after the latest numbers that just came out. So this report just moments ago shows the U.S. economy added 22,000 jobs in August. That is very low. It's also just a fraction of the 77,000 jobs that had been expected. The unemployment rate went up to 4.3% from 4.2%. That was expected, but this is notable because this is the highest unemployment rate since October of 2021, and it breaks a stretch where the unemployment rate had kind of stayed in this very low range.
So right now we're experiencing the highest unemployment rate since October 2021. That is very bad. Okay. And another thing here, folks, is I actually looked up some data here. It's even worse for like Black Americans. I think for Black Americans, it's something like 7% unemployment rate. It's even worse for certain subgroups in the United States. Let's continue.
Still relatively low, but moving in the wrong direction. The other big news here, though, is what happened as far as revisions. We saw that July was revised a little bit higher, but more important was June. June was revised from a low number of just 14,000 jobs were added to now negative 13,000 jobs. It's not quite showing up on that bar chart, but June is the first month where.
So we had a month here, okay? We had a month, so June, they typically, after they release the jobs numbers, when the job numbers were released, okay, they typically are revised later. This is sort of a just common occurrence after they do more research and stuff. We now know that in June, actually, jobs were lost, which is a very bad sign, okay, very bad sign. Let me see a few of the chats here. I saw some really good ones. Mithril, Alan W, 100%. Conservative News Network, right? CNN, absolutely. Okay, not as bad as Fox, but still not great. Corporate news, still okay. Mithril, I had a row with someone I thought was a friend because I suggested that Trump ticked most of the boxes from Umberto Eco's fascism. Mithril, you're after my own heart. As folks know here, we did a stream on Umberto Eco, and obviously, he ticks most of the box. Okay, Trump ticks almost all those boxes. Okay, JMac. I mean, what do we expect to happen with indiscriminate tariffs and ICE raids across the country? Of course, JMac. Right? Shocking outcome. Okay, Alan. Yes, Alan, you're totally right. Alan W says nearly all of the jobs that were added were part-time jobs too. Nearly all jobs lost were full-time jobs, 100%. Okay, so it's not like these are high-quality jobs or jobs that can sustain people for long. Demosthenes, America checked a lot of those boxes prior to Trump, 100% when it comes to Umberto Eco. Okay, and JMac, and tourism from foreign countries to the USA has been totally screwed due to people being afraid to visit. Right? I mean, speak about shooting ourselves in the foot. Okay. All right. So let's continue here. They do have some more info, but these are very bad job numbers. Okay.
The U.S. economy lost jobs since December of 2020 during COVID. So this breaks a nearly.
Again, it hasn't been this bad since COVID. Okay.
5-year stretch of job growth, of uninterrupted job growth in the U.S. economy. That's the second longest stretch in U.S. history. But now it's over. And when we're digging into some of the sectors here, a couple things stand out. We're seeing a number of the goods producing sectors in the U.S. economy lose jobs, right? We're talking about construction lost 6,000 jobs in August. Mining and logging also lost jobs. Manufacturing lost jobs as well. 12,000 jobs for manufacturing, which is, I think, pretty notable because one of the issues in this economy is all the uncertainty over trade policy, right? Tariffs are supposed to be.
Yeah. By the way, thank you, Macy, for the super chat. Thank you very much, Macy, for that super chat. Macy says, jobs report is not very demure. Exactly, Macy. Thank you, Macy. By the way, folks, if we get 5 super chats or $20, I will I'll put on the jester hat. Okay, so 5 super chats or $20, the jester hat will come on. Thank you for your support. Okay, and I want to point out, folks, as they were saying here, Trump has been focusing on trying to get manufacturing jobs back and things like that, and a lot of this job loss is occurring in like the sectors that Trump is supposedly supposed to be building up. Okay, thank you, Mithril, for the super chat. Probably can't afford this, but here you go. Thank you, Mithril, for the £2. Thank you very much, Mithril. So, folks, if we get 3 more. I guess, and at this point, $16 more, then I'll put on the jester hat. Thank you, though, Mithril, for that. I hope it doesn't cut into your bank account too much there. Okay. Okay. So we'll finish watching this now.
Supporting the manufacturing industry, but instead, the manufacturing industry is actually losing jobs for 4 months in a row. This is the unemployment rate going back to 2020. You see that massive spike on the left side of the screen. Of course, that was COVID, came down dramatically, stayed at historically low levels. But now on the right side of your screen, you can see it is starting to tick higher. So I think you got to put all of this into the bigger picture, right? We've gotten a number of different indicators showing that this job market really is starting to stall out. And you're looking at U.S. markets reacting.
So, folks, capitalism thrives off continuous growth. You need continuous growth for a capitalist system to work because companies need to be able to continuously increase the profits that they can shell out to their shareholders so that that line can go up. When that starts to stall or there is no growth, you have an issue, and eventually it'll cause a recession. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but yeah, if it continues this way, absolutely. Okay. It will be very bad. So it's not good. Thank you, Mithril. Yeah, funding an increase in educational standards. I hope so, Mithril. Alan W., it feels like you have to send out 100 applications to get 1 reply right now. 100% you do. Okay. Okay. So, all right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Macy. Have you seen the old Margarita salad? Yes, I love the Margarita Ville episode there. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
Dow futures were down a little bit before this. They actually came up just a tiny bit from where they were. Not a major reaction, I think, from investors. I think that's because in a lot of ways, this report, it probably seals the deal on an interest rate cut later this month from the Federal Reserve. Wall Street was already thinking it was basically a slam dunk. And I think that this latest weakness, including the fact that the unemployment rate is up to a nearly 4-year high, I think that's probably going to seal the deal on a rate cut from the Fed, which is obviously something the White House has been calling for. Of course, they wanted a cut because of low inflation. That's probably not the reason, right? The reason would be because of low hiring.
And of course, this is the first jobs report since, the controversy over the regular reporting of jobs numbers last month. And so even these numbers could get revised in the future, but as you just laid out in June, the numbers could also get revised down.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Look, revisions are normal. It happens, right? As the BLS gets new survey responses in from the businesses they talk to, they're going to update their numbers just like a meteorologist who updates their hurricane forecast when they get new data. Unfortunately, these updates, though, they've been mostly coming into the downside and again showing that hiring has really stalled out here.
And it's negative in June. It's just the floor of that graph is 0.
Negative, exactly.
We can't see it. Maddie.
Okay, guys. So that is that. Okay. So again, economic data not looking good. Not looking good. And what this will do is that the Fed will now cut interest rates which will kind of slightly mitigate the negative effects of this slightly. But that it doesn't mean that things won't be problematic. So let me see here, folks. We got a bunch of great chats here. Uh, um, Okay, JMac, I'm pretty sure we're going to experience a recession, especially if they lower interest rates like Trump wants to, and they almost certainly will, JMac. Um, and it seems like he will bully the Fed. Yeah, I suspect JMac he won't need to bully the Fed, because when you see jobs numbers like this, the Fed will almost always cut interest rates, whether they're bullied or not. So probably will see an interest rate cut, which might increase inflation. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of factors in this that are slightly unpredictable, but these are not good signs at all. BK, welcome, BK. Anyone see the report that came out today about the Navy SEALs killing North Korean civilians? I did not, BK. Would someone perhaps put that into the Discord, or I can look it up, but I didn't hear about that. And gotta love American war crimes. Classic, very American. Thank you, Demosthenes, for the super chat. Thank you, Demosthenes. Demosthenes says, for knowledge. Yes, for knowledge. Okay, thank you, Demosthenes, for that. Folks, 2 more super chats, and I will put on the jester hat. Thank you very much, Demosthenes. Okay. Hey, Sir Bartholomew's here. Oh, thank you, Sir Bartholomew, for the super chat. Okay. What an entrance, Sir Bartholomew. Okay, thank you very much. Hey, Gain. Hello to you. We get one more super chat, folks, and I'll put on the jester hat. This is going fast. I like it. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, his only moves are Macy Schroeder, we can't be fighting each other over the jobs. We need to unite and strike. The system isn't failing. It was designed this way. Macy, you are 100% correct, and you're after my own socialist heart there, okay? We do need to strike. In capitalism, there are natural ups and downs. It is a very chaotic system. And yeah, Trump may be accelerating that process, but yeah, this is what happens. And then who always suffers the most? It's the people, the working class, the rest of us. The wealthy don't suffer that much from these things. Okay. Mithril. Yep. More breaking of international law, Mithril. Um, yep, Alan. Yep. You're all speaking my language here. Hello, Plant Sunshine. Welcome to chat. JMac, yeah, inflation is already too high, okay? Meowzord, his only moves are to bully and feign victim, 100%. By the way, classic fascist moves there. Fascists are always yelling that they're the victims and then always using bullying tactics to get their way. Alan W., lowering the interest rate will help for a little while, but it will come crashing down. Yep, I know, right, Alan? Alan, I think honestly, in theory, I don't think. I think the people around Trump don't care if it crashes. They like the chaos. So that might be part of it. They also, some of them are simply morons, and they think that they're wealthy morons. They think that if the wealthy are doing well, everyone's doing well. So there's a bunch of things going into that. All right, folks. So I just wanted to give you all an update on that news story. It is very important. Okay, what the economy not doing well, it's a very bad sign. It is a bad sign for us too, but yeah, it kind of proves, if we didn't already know that Trump is an idiot. Okay, Alan, if he were to do at the end of this term and could pass it off the next president, that's very true. Winter Linde's here. Hello, Winter Linde. Okay, it could pass it off the next president. I would get it. But this will backfire on him in an extreme way. Oh, totally. I mean, it's way too early in his presidency to do this. Okay. JMac, thank you, Alyssa, for subscribing to Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. JMac, maybe the plan is to crash everything so the wealthy can just buy up the assets for pennies on the dollar. JMac, I would not be surprised. For those that have been in the stream the last few times, remember the whole idea of the dark enlightenment and accelerationism, make the system collapse, which will then allow these corporate entities to buy up everything. Like it is possible that since the people around Trump believe in that shit, that they're just like, oh well, yeah, let it crash. That'll it'll accelerate things It's very possible. Okay. Mithril, this is not what Paula White meant. Thank you, Alyssa, for the Bezos bucks. Okay. Thank you for redistributing the wealth to the poor. Okay. This is not what Paula White meant when she said on her barking mad, strike, strike, strike. You're right, Mithril. Okay, guys, one more super chat and I will put on the jester hat. And let me go to my face now. So, all right. So, let's chat. What we're going to do now, this is going to be kind of fun. At least I hope it'll be kind of fun for you. You know, I'm a teacher. I can't help myself. So does anyone heard of thank you, Walter Kawamoto. Thank you very much. Welcome to the chat. Has anyone you played Kahoot before? Just shout out in shout out, just say in chat. I just want to see if anyone here has, and if you can, it's okay. But what I thought we could do is I have a Kahoot that I made, and it's so for those who don't know, Kahoot is used in a lot of schools. Okay, and it's sort of like a trivia thing where you answer questions. And you guys can either play, you can literally play on your devices with me, or you can just kind of follow along and try to answer the questions. Oh, we got another super chat. Let me see. Thank you, Tiago. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the super chat, Tiago. Tiago says, found a communism horrors denialist page on Insta today. Do you fancy I would love to do a reaction to that, Tiago. I really would. Also, paid more to write everything, so the bribe is done. Thank you, Tiago. Okay, guys, that means it's time for the hat. Thank you, folks. That was fast. I appreciate it. I gotta, as they say in South Park, I need to deal with that nut. All right. Oh, this is much better. Much better. Okay. All right. And wait a minute, Fox Emblem, your coworker got second-degree burns. What happened? Okay. So all right, folks. So all right, guys. So I'm going to reset do another goal here. We'll say if we get 5 more, I'll put on the Jester collar. Okay. Collar. Or 5 more, $20. Okay. We'll do that. There we go. Boop. All right. All right, guys. All right. So let's do this. So so now you all can play with me. You can literally play with me, or you can just watch and try to guess on your own. So let me pull it up here. And they're all questions about things we've talked about on stream. Okay. All right. Give me a second here. I'll pull it up. All right. Right, J-Mac? I know. It is kind of a weird stream. I get it. It probably looked weird. I'll show you guys. So here is, let me start it. Okay, it's pulling up on the screen here. Start. Okay, so give it a second. All right, so you see this game pin here. It gives you instructions at the top. You can just go to www.kahoot.it, put in this game pin, all right, if you would like to play. All right, I'll give you a few moments to do that if you would like to. We'll see how many people we can get in here. All right, we all see it. Hope I'm going to turn up the music because you gotta have the Kahoot music high. Boop boop. Alan, hey, Alan's here. So Meowzord, this is Kahoot. All right, there we go. I got Tiago. Fantastic, Tiago and Alan. So what you can do, Meowzord, is just follow the instructions up here. Go to www.kahoot.it, then put in this game pin, and you'll be able to join the game. And we'll be able to see who does the best on this quiz I'm doing, okay? I have this song stuck in my head. Meowzord, hey! Okay. And again, folks, all these questions, right? All these questions are taken from things we've talked about in the streams before now, okay? And again, you don't have to join if you don't want to. I'll give a few more minutes here, maybe like 2 or 3 more minutes if anyone else wants to join. And if not, you can just, the questions are going to appear on screen. Mithril, hey, Mithril! And J-Mac, fantastic. Hey, this is great. V, okay. That's okay. Listen, I'll give you guys more time if you need it. Bettina, hey. Dally Behoy, welcome to chat, Dally Behoy. We're playing a Kahoot. If you'd like to, there are things that we've talked about in stream. If you just follow the instructions at the top of the page, you'll be able to join. Alyssa, gosh, we are getting a lot of folks in here. This is great. Okay. Now then, folks, when we start playing, Mr. Justin's, okay, we will be able to see how people do. And I don't know, I feel like I should give an award of some sort to whoever wins. Okay. Yes, it's just a trivia thing. Okay. And what's going to happen, folks, is when we start. Thank you, Dolly Behoy. Thank you for that. Thank you for saying so. When we start, okay, you'll have 20 seconds to answer. Macy, fantastic. Well, you'll have 20 seconds to answer each question. Okay. And then basically the people who answer the fastest and answer the most right will win, and we'll be able to see at the end who wins. Okay. All right, folks, one more minute here. Lord, let me know in chat if you need more time. 1 more minute, and then I will start the game. Okay. Again, all these questions are from things we've done. Oh, I'm a fool. Thank you, Dally Boy. Okay, my mistake. Okay, thank you for that. All right. 30 seconds, folks. We got 7. What is this? Okay. Okay, everyone ready? Let's go. Start, okay? So let's prepare yourselves. Okay, so Casual Revolts quiz. Let's go! Who wrote the song, This Land Is Your Land? Choose the right answer. No pressure. Of these people, you get 20 seconds. Who was the one who wrote This Land Is Your Land? Yay, you all got it right. Thank you. Yay, fantastic. Okay, correct. Woody Guthrie, the socialist, okay? All right, next. Okay, let's see who got it fast enough. Okay, Macy is ahead. Macy is ahead with 750 points. Alan W. coming in second. J-Mac in third, okay? All right. All right, let's go. According to Robert Paxton, how many stages do fascist governments go through? How many stages? How many stages do fascist governments go through? Ooh, 4 people got it right, okay? 2 got it wrong, 1 also got it wrong. Okay, let's see here who did what. It was 5. 5 stages of fascism, okay, which we are very quickly going through. Let's go. Who did this one? Okay, Macy's still number 1. J-Mac coming in close to second. And Tiago now in third. All right, let us continue. What was the name of the Japanese military group that engaged in human experimentation in World War II? What was the name of that group? What was the name? Exactly, Dolly Boy, 100%. We're definitely speedrunning through it. Oh, looks like we got all 7 answers so far. Great job, guys. Okay, most of you got it right. The answer is Unit 731. Don't look it up unless you want nightmares, okay? So yes, Unit 731. Let's go. Oh, Tiago pulling ahead to number 1. Macy coming in number 2. Alan W. back to 3. Okay, let's go. Which country lost the most soldiers and civilians in World War II? Which country lost the most soldiers and civilians in World War II? Most of you got that one right too. The answer is the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union lost millions upon millions. The country that lost the second most was China. Okay. Let's see now. Okay, Tiago still ahead. Macy at number 2. J-Mac pulling into third place. Ooh, okay, let's go. This is when subversive things become integrated into economic systems and lose their subversiveness. I know that's kind of wordy. This is when things that are subversive become integrated into the economic system and lose their subversiveness. This is that big word that I told you to use during dates if you want to show off your intelligence. Oh, everyone got it right. Fantastic. The answer is repressive to sublimation, which we see happening with a lot of different things, including the Woody Guthrie song, This Land Is Your Land. Okay. Macy back to number 1, pulling ahead. Alan W. up to number 2. J-Mac at 3. All right. Let's go on now. Radical Hutus engaged in genocide against this group in Rwanda. Okay. Radical Hutus. I know this might be a harder one. Radical Hutus engaged in a genocide against this group in Rwanda. Oh, looks like we got... Excellent. Most of you got it right. The answer is Tutsis. All right. Okay, still where we are. Macy number 1, Alan number 2, J-Mac number 3. Let's go on. True or false? People with schizophrenia live better lives in pre-industrial societies. True or false? People with schizophrenia live better lives in pre-industrial societies. Hello, London. True or false? Hey, good job, folks. Yes, true, right? It is true. There have been studies that show that people with schizophrenia have better prognoses and tend to live better lives when they live in a pre-industrial society, which is reflective of how our society might not be good at integrating people who have mental health issues, okay? Right, Dolly Boy? When I've learned it too, I was shocked, okay? Ooh, Macy, number 1, Alan, number 2, and Tiago pulling back up into number 3. Fantastic, okay? All right. That's fair, Alyssa. I saw that you might be having an issue there, okay? Okay. All right, number 8. In pre-industrial societies, people with symptoms of schizophrenia often perform what role? Are they witches? Are they soldiers? Are they shamans? Or are they chiefs? Okay? In pre-industrial societies, people with symptoms of schizophrenia often perform what role? Great job. Most of you got that one. Okay. The answer is shamans. Remember, there was a famous book about a dad whose son had schizophrenia and he couldn't get treatment for it. And so what he did, right, is he brought his son to some pre-industrial societies and he claims it cured his son. The symptoms didn't go away, but his son could finally live a good life because he could act as a shaman. So absolutely. Oh, Alan pulling ahead to number 1. Macy dropping to number 2. Meowzord pulling up to number 3. Okay, well, this could be anyone's game at this point. All right, let's go. True or false? True or false? Feminism is the idea that women are fundamentally better than men. True or false? Feminism is the idea that women are fundamentally better than men. True or false? Good. You all got that one. Okay, that was kind of a question. I think you all knew that one. Correct. Okay, feminism is the idea that men and women should be treated equally when it comes to legal rights, civil rights, things like that. There are variations on feminism, but the through line of feminism is that they are equal. Okay. All right. Okay, we're still at the same rankings here. Alan, Macy, Meowzord, top 3. Okay. All right. Oh, and Alan has a win streak with 7 correct answers in a row. Fantastic. Okay. Gene Sharp famously compiled a list of 198 methods of what? Right, J-Mac? Okay. We went over this on stream. 198 methods of what? We actually went over all the methods, essentially. Oh, excellent. Okay, the answer would be nonviolent resistance. Although, for those that answered overthrowing capitalism, I suppose you could technically use nonviolent resistance to overthrow capitalism. So, yes, the answer is nonviolent resistance. Okay. Oh, Meowzord pulling up to number 2. Alan still at number 1. Macy number 3. Yeah, that's fair, J-Mac. I know a lot of folks haven't seen them all. Okay. Okay. Let's go on now. Next, I picked with my heart. Macy, I love that. Okay, guys. Next one here. What does the word Inyenzi mean? What does the word Inyenzi mean? This has to do with Rwanda. I know that was just one stream, and this is a very specific thing I talked about in that stream, but does anyone remember what Inyenzi means? Some of these are harder than others. What does the word Inyenzi mean? Ooh, okay. This one was a harder one. Okay. The correct answer is cockroaches. It looks like most people got this wrong. Most people said rats. Admittedly, the Nazis did use the word rats, especially to describe people they viewed as inferior. But in Rwanda, the Tutsi were frequently referred to as Inyenzi, which means cockroaches. Okay, this might have messed up the rankings here. Oh, it didn't. Okay, Alan still number 1, Meowzord number 2, Macy number 3, and Meowzord has a 9 correct answer streak. Okay, all right. Okay, I know this is. Listen, I'm so sorry. Okay, you picked with your nose. Excellent, Mithril. Okay, let's continue. Which city did Imperial Japan famously destroy and terrorize in China? Now, honestly, there were several, but which one did we talk about specifically? There's a famous book about it. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Good job. Most of you got it. Fantastic. The answer is Nanking, also known as Nanjing. Absolutely. I don't even want to go into it. You all remember the traumatizing stream we had where I talked about the crimes of Imperial Japan, but yeah, it was the RAPE of Nanking, okay, or the massacre of Nanking. Okay. Oh, Mithril's pulling up now. Mithril's now in 4th place, but we got Alan, Meowzord, and Macy still ahead. And Alan W has Alan W has a 10 correct answers in a row thing. Okay, that's fantastic. Let's go on. 13. Which of the following companies was not involved in the America-sponsored overthrow of the Guatemalan government? Which of these companies was not involved in the American-sponsored overthrow of the Guatemala government? Now, if you don't know the answer, if you know what product this overthrow was about, that might help you figure this out. Ooh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's technically wrong. I must have clicked the wrong answer. Oh, I know that is right. I'm sorry. Yes, Goodyear. Goodyear, however, all right, Goodyear did do something pretty similar in Liberia over in Africa with the rubber industry. But Dole, Chiquita, and the United Fruit Company were all involved in making the United States government overthrow. Chiquita is a fruit company here in, I don't know if it's all over the world, but in the United States, I should say, okay? Maybe I hope I didn't spell it wrong, but okay, good job for those who got it. Oh, Alyssa coming back from behind. Great job, Alyssa. Alyssa's now in 3rd place. We got Alan at 1, Meowzord at 2, Alyssa at 3 with Macy not that far behind. Okay. Roger Griffin stated that the ideological core of fascism is a mythic belief in what? Mythic belief in what? Is it war is renewal? Is it socialism? Is it the inferiority of women? Or is it palingenetic ultranationalism? Yeah, most of you got it. Good. Okay, another one of those big words you can pull out during a date to get, Anyway, the answer is palingenetic ultranationalism. That is the idea that we need to renew the country, give it a new renewal, a new birth, mixed with a sense of ultranationalism. Okay. That is palingenetic ultranationalism. Although, admittedly, folks, most fascist regimes do view war as renewal. They do believe women are inferior. Of course, none of them really like socialism, though. Okay, so I'm glad no one put socialism. I would have been furiously angry. Okay, anyway, okay. All right. Oh, Tiago coming back. Oh, Tiago is kind of coming back. Alyssa now has an answer streak of 3. Fantastic. So Alan, Meowzord, Alyssa, and then Tiago and Macy. Okay. Is that palingenetic ultranationalism in your pants? Are you just happy we're living in a fashion? You're right. I should be less excited about you getting that right, because we're definitely living in a palingenetic regime. Okay, let's go. Which of the following apply to all successful revolutions? Which of these things do all successful revolutions have? Now, I may not have directly talked about it. I have mentioned it a few times. Your Dally Boy, you're 100% right about that. They would have said socialism. I kind of threw a trick one in there. Good job, folks. Yes, okay. The answer would be parallel governing structures. That is why I say, in a theoretical society where we might need to have a revolution. I mean, not ours, of course. That's illegal. I would never say that on live stream. But if we were, I mean, if some country were to have a revolution, we'd better have some parallel governing structures and some very organized groups to actually do it. Okay, parallel governing structures. Okay. All right. The next one here. Ooh, Macy pulling back. Okay, we still got Alan at number 1, Meowzord number 2, Alyssa number 3. Fantastic. Yeah, that was a hard one, Tiago. I got you. Okay, let's go on. We got 4 more questions, and then we'll be done here. True or false? Revolutionary optimism often leads to political victory for politicians and political movements. True or false? Revolutionary optimism often leads to political victory for politicians and political movements. If you were in the stream yesterday, you know that. You should know this, I should say. Excellent. You all got it right. Yes, it does. Okay. If you have the revolutionary optimism there, it is a very powerful tool for getting, having a political victory. All right. All right. Macy pulling back up to number 3. J-Mac up into being the top 5. Okay, Alan, real pulling ahead here. Meowzord, you got to get your game on. Alan is really, is kind of ahead of you here. All right, all right, guys, let's go on to the next one. What is the name of the organization that bribes politicians into pro-Israel stances? What is the name of the organization that bribes politicians into pro-Israel stances? There is more than one, but there is the most common one that we all know of. All right. Which of these organizations tends to bribe politicians and push them towards pro-Israel stances? Thank you all for getting that correct. The answer is AIPAC. Okay. A monstrous organization that funds genocide, resulting in the death of thousands of innocent people. Never let that name leave your heads. Okay. All right. AIPAC is the correct answer there. And by the way, free Palestine. All right, moving on. J-Mac pulling back up to 3rd place. Fantastic. Alan still at number 1, though admittedly, Meowzord is kind of catching up a bit here. All right, Macy, you're back in 3. Macy now has a correct answer streak of 3. And Tiago down at 5. Okay. Let's go. We got... Here we go. Which website can be used to track campaign contributions made to American politicians? Is it CNN? Is it the Drudge Report? Is it Open Secrets, or is it the BBC? I have showed it to you several times on stream. If you are a great tool, if you want to look at people that are running for office, I highly recommend it. I would even show my students this. Great job, guys. Great job. So most of you got it right. The answer is Open Secrets. It is a great website. Great for seeing what your politicians will probably do once they get in office because of their corruption. Okay. All right. Ooh, Alyssa back in the top 5. Okay, fantastic. Everyone else still in the same place here. Okay, last 2 questions. True or false? The American healthcare system is less expensive than other nations of equivalent wealth. The American healthcare system is less expensive than other nations of equivalent wealth. True or false? You all better get this right. I swear on my swear to God. Just kidding. But you. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely false. Much more expensive in the United States because of our decrepit, uncivilized healthcare system that is barbaric. You don't get me started. You all know. Okay, same. We got the same thing going here. Though admittedly, Malzord is closing the distance between Allen and himself. J-Mac at third, Macy at fourth, Alyssa at fifth. Okay, um, I totally would ban you. Okay, J-Mac, if you got that wrong. I'm just kidding. Okay, last question here, folks. What is Casual Revolt's first name? What is my first name? Decided to throw a wrench in here. What's my first name? Let's see if anyone remembers. It has been said before in stream. Oh, hopefully this messes some people up. Yes, it is Sam. Well done, everyone. Okay, most of you got this. I hope that kind of messed up the numbers a bit because I'm cruel. Thank you, Louise. Yes, okay, it is Sam. All right, everyone ready for the results here? Right, exactly. Okay. All right, let's see the results. Okay, here it comes. At third place, J-Mac with the bronze. At second place, Meowzord. And at first place, the ultimate winner today is Alan W.A. Fantastic. With Macy and Alyssa still in the top 5. Great job, everyone. That was great fun. Oh, I need to come up with some way to give awards out to folks who do win. Fantastic. Okay. Great job. Okay. I demand more curveballs, Meowzord. Okay. All right, you guys. Let me go back to my face now. I am from the mythical land of Ohio. All right. Okay, guys. Let me go back to my face. Woo! Okay, I'm going to shut this up now. Okay, guys. I guess, yeah, Alan, how about this? For now, you are your number one fan. You are the number one fan, okay? How about that, okay? All right, guys, let me see here. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any super chats or anything, because I haven't really been looking at that part of the chat very much. I think I'm good. Thank you, Plant Sunshine. I did miss the super chat. Thank you, Plant Sunshine, for the super chat there. We'll be cheering you guys in the audience. Folks, if we get 4 more super chats, I'll put on the Jester Caller. Thank you, Plant Sunshine. All right. Or 4 more super chats or $18 more. Okay. All right. Great job, everyone. Yeah. Okay, how about this, folks? Next time, there you go, Mithril. Yeah, you're the teacher's pet, Alan. How about that? Okay. I'm Tiago. I'm sorry. Please don't cry. Okay. Yeah, so folks, how about this next time? Maybe we should do this like once in a while on a Friday. I will make sure to at least warn the Discord that we're going to do this so everyone can have their computers if they want to join in. I get way too excited playing these games with people. So, okay, that was fantastic. All right, you guys. So, okay, what should we do now? What should we do now? Okay, we have some options. I think I'm going to do some Discord reaction here. I did receive a video. I actually received a few videos that I really wanted to watch together. Okay, so Meowzord, Tiago, you need a lobbyist. Okay, fantastic. All right, you guys. So let me go into Discord. I saw a couple videos that I absolutely do want to watch. Let me get in here now, folks. I'll do this real fast. All right. So let's see what we got here. Reactions. Reimagining. Well, ooh, that's a good one. Is Yaha here? Who is Yaha? Is Yaha in the chat right now? You know what? While I see if Yaha's in the chat, let's watch this one. This is from Meowzord. 1 second here. All right, we're gonna watch this one. This is Lawrence O'Donnell. Let me pull up the screen here. It is about yesterday we watched RFK Jr. This is about RFK Jr. Let's take a look here. All right. So this is this is from MSNBC, another source you really shouldn't trust. I will say, however, that they oftentimes have really good segments. You just got to make sure what you're learning about before you do, so you can verify the facts. But I suspect this is going to be very good. This is titled "RFK Jr., the Most Dangerous Nepo Baby in American History." I already love the title. Um, Yes, Alan, we are going to do that. I actually forgot about that, Alan. So yes, Alan, we are going to actually do, and the playlist you sent me is fantastic, and I'm going to be using it. Alan sent me a playlist of a compilation of a bunch of different progressives who are going to be running for office, and we may even do it tomorrow. Where we probably will do it tomorrow, where we watch some of these people, so everyone can see some upcoming progressives who you all can vote for and support. So we will do that. Thank you, Alan. James, thank you for following. Right, I love the title here. Okay, guys, so let's do it. I don't know what he's going to say. Lawrence O'Donnell does occasionally have really good things. Maybe not occasionally. He actually does a lot of the time. So we will watch this. Okay, I'm just going to put it on 1.25 speed. We'll see what O'Donnell has to say here. Okay, and let's go.
Well, the most dangerous Nepo baby in American history testified today, not under oath. The most dangerous Nepo baby in the world is, of course, the owner and operator of North Korea's nuclear weapons, Kim Jong-un, who inherited his dictatorship from his father. Robert Kennedy Jr. inherited his cabinet position from his father, who was the only other Kennedy to have served in the cabinet.
By the way, folks, IK, I just got to pause here. Isn't it insane how Lee Lane, welcome Lee Lane, how crazy it is that we have in the United States a country that was partially founded on the notion of not having royalty and not having nobility, that we have these these families that are almost like royalty, like there's the Clintons, the Kennedys, the Bushes, like these dynastic families. That is such a corrupt thing. It drives me insane. But it's true. We have that. Can anyone think of any others? I can't think off the top of my head, but there's definitely others.
Neither Kennedy earned a cabinet position. Robert Kennedy was appointed Attorney General by his brother, the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, in 1961, even though Robert Kennedy had no experience
Dolly Boy, you're
as
right,
a prosecutor and had never appeared in court.
Roosevelt's too.
No one other than his brother ever would have chosen Robert Kennedy as Attorney General of the United States. Robert Kennedy's nomination as Attorney General sailed through the Senate Judiciary Committee unanimously with Democrat and Republican support, and only one Republican voting against the nomination on the Senate floor on the grounds that the 35-year-old Robert Kennedy did not have enough experience to be Attorney General. Nepotism was
something else that bothers me is, Trump obviously has been extremely nepotistic, extremely corrupt. But a lot of times the media will frame it like Trump is unusual in American history. He's not. And again, hate Trump, absolutely hate him. He is ridiculously corrupt. He's definitely more corrupt than most American presidents, but we've had a long history of the nepotism. He just kind of took it to the next level. Yeah, you're right, Meowser. I do think it's kind of a natural human thing to crave dynastic legacy. Appoint your children to government positions and things like that. Okay, which is why it should be illegal, in my opinion. Because okay, let's continue.
Accepted practice in 1961 that surprised no one and almost never attracted public comment. The term Nepo baby
J-Mac, that's a good
would
point.
not be invented until the next century. Robert Kennedy didn't earn his jobs in Washington in the 1950s and the 1960s, but he was a serious student of and practitioner of government. And he was always growing in the job. And later, as United States Senator from New York, Robert Kennedy tried to move the country and our politics in the right direction. And he was assassinated in 1968 during his presidential campaign, in which he was trying to save lives by running against American involvement.
Do we know why he was assassinated, by the way? Not JFK, the other one, the one they just mentioned. And the reason I'm asking is because, well, you all know I kind of have a pet peeve when it comes to foreign relations in the United States. Do we all know why he was assassinated? because it doesn't often get taught in schools. I don't think I've ever met a teacher who's actually taught the reason why he was assassinated, except for me. I know that's self-aggrandizing. He was assassinated because of American support for Israel. The guy that assassinated him was very angry about American support for Israel and killed him for it. By the way, we have a long history of that happening. One of the reasons we were attacked on 9/11 was because of American support for Israel. I mean, there were other reasons too. Correct me, Alzord. There have been many Americans that have died because of American support for Israel. Yep, Sirhan. And so again, it drives me crazy when Americans are dying because of Israel's actions and of our government's actions. Just to remind you, like if you don't have enough empathy, and I know I'm not actually talking to all of you, but for those who don't have enough empathy to care about the death of innocent people in Gaza, by the way, F you if you don't, but you should also realize that it threatens your life that they're doing that. 100% does. All right.
The Vietnam War. Robert Kennedy Jr. is not trying to save lives. Robert Kennedy Jr. repeatedly today in his Senate testimony used the phrase, quote.
Oh, wait, I am curious. Did he actually say why he was killed? I just want to see if he did. I would be surprised if he does. If he does, more power to him, but let's see.
1968, during his presidential campaign, in which he was trying to save lives by running against American involvement in the Vietnam War. Robert Kennedy.
Notice, even he did not say, okay, again, this is corporate news, why he was assassinated. And he said in this clip that he was trying to save lives. Well, was he trying to save lives by promoting sending weapons to Israel too? Anyway, just something to think about, a pet peeve of mine.
Jr. is not trying to save lives. Robert Kennedy Jr. repeatedly today in his Senate testimony used the phrase, quote, when my uncle was president. No Kennedy has ever trafficked more blatantly and offensively in the dead Kennedy's memories than Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has never been a serious student of or practitioner of anything. Robert Kennedy Jr. was a heroin addict in high school, college, and law school and beyond. He did not have one day of his life as a serious student. I was in one class with him in college in a small classroom where, when he showed up, it was obvious that he wasn't really present. The first professional entry in his resume came from, of course, a family friend, the longtime Manhattan District Attorney Robert Morgenthau, who handed Robert Kennedy Jr. an assistant district attorney's job as soon as Robert Kennedy Jr. finished law school, but before he passed the bar exam. Robert Kennedy Jr. had to surrender that job when, not surprisingly.
No, I agree, Alan. I agree. Like honestly, folks, Alan says, why is being an addict automatically disqualifying? I agree, Alan. I honestly don't give a shit if you are an addict. If you're going to do what the people want you to do and need you to do, more power to you, okay? People can get over addictions. I hate how, especially in America, we're very puritanical. So we like going into politicians' sex lives. Now, obviously, if they're assaulting children, like many politicians are, release the goddamn Epstein files. But if you have some other vices, like who cares? Like if you're going to be helping people, anyway, as long as you're not it's not affecting your ability to run the country. But anyway,
failed the bar exam while he was a heroin addict. He was a heroin addict while he was taking the bar exam and working in the district attorney's office in Manhattan. He was breaking the law every day. Robert.
Okay, see, I don't care. He's breaking the law, whatever. Now, admittedly, if it was affecting him, then yeah, he shouldn't. If he's such a bad heroin addict that it is making it incapable of functioning, then yeah, he shouldn't be there. But
Kennedy Jr. did not take organic chemistry in college. Robert Kennedy Jr. did not take inorganic chemistry in college. Robert Kennedy Jr. did not take biology in college. Robert Kennedy Jr. did not take a single pre-med course in college and could not have gotten through one day of such a course.
Yep.
I've recently come to learn that a lot of founders and marketers don't quite know how to look up the competitors' marketing strategies.
And that is who Donald Trump has put at the top of the Department of Health and Human Services with jurisdiction over Medicare and Medicaid and everything else the federal government does in the healthcare sector.
He was a very popular candidate.
And he got that job from Donald Trump because of one word, Kennedy. Donald Trump, a lifelong attention addict, grew up obviously dazzled by the Kennedy fame machine. Fame is currency with Donald Trump. And so the most unqualified and incompetent Health and Human Services Secretary in history took his place in the Trump cabinet, working for a man whose fortune and business career was handed to him by his father. Donald Trump, the most famous Nepo baby in the New York real estate business, is a born believer in nepotism.
No,
Donald Trump,
Demosthenes, you're right.
Whose neurological aging has surely reached the point where he can no longer spell the word science, appears to hate expertise, especially in medical science. And so Donald Trump got the Health and Human Services Secretary that he deserves, but the country did not. Robert Kennedy Jr. has called the COVID vaccines, quote, a crime against humanity. But in today's hearing, he agreed with the Republican senator who said that Donald Trump should get the Nobel Prize for development of the COVID-19 vaccines, even though Nobel Prizes in science are actually awarded to the scientists who do the work. And so today, Robert Kennedy Jr. says that Donald Trump should get a Nobel Prize for what Robert Kennedy Jr. has called a crime against humanity.
Yep.
Robert Kennedy Jr. is a crime against humanity.
Oh, I love
People are
Lawrence
already
O'Donnell
dying
now.
this year in this country from measles because they followed the guidance of the anti-vaccine warrior and madman, Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. lies about science every time he.
By the way, do we remember, folks, that first of all, obviously we all know he had a worm in his brain, which is kind of, that might be that's a bit of an issue. But also, do you remember he told that story about how he and his friends dumped the corpse of a bear cub in the middle of Central Park? Like, and he said it out loud and he admitted it. It was just weird. Like he's just a weird guy. Like there's something really off about RFK Jr. Dolly Boy, they're so obsessed. 100%.
He pretends to talk about it. He has called the COVID-19 vaccine, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made. But he did not dare say that today because two of the Republican.
Oh, thank you, Meowsword. I forgot about that. RFK Jr. also hung out with Epstein. Flew on his personal jet. Okay. He ate whale sashimi, I should say. Okay. He was affiliated also with Diddy and Cosby. So he has a lot of problems.
Doctors on the Senate Finance Committee.
Bettina, sorry, folks. Bettina, I think you're right. I think I spoke too soon there. Bettina says, I think the point of nepotism allowed a heroin addict who didn't pass the bar exam. No, you're totally right, Bettina. I'm just simply saying that generally there are some people who are like alcoholics or have addictions and are functional. But you're right. Like obviously he was very severe, and no one else would have been able to get that position with the issues he had.
We don't like that kind of crazy talk. Today's hearing in the Senate Finance Committee began with a request by the former chairman of the committee and now the top Democrat on the committee, Ron Wyden, to have the witness, Robert Kennedy Jr., sworn in so that he would be testifying under oath. And the Republican chairman of the committee from Idaho, Mike Crapo, ever faithful to Donald Trump and the right to publicly lie, refused to put the witness under oath. And so the Trump cabinet member who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell did not have to testify under oath today.
Yep.
When Robert Kennedy Jr. was first asked by Newsweek how many times he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, he said once. When the New York Post asked him about it later, he changed it to twice. In her very friendly discussion with Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, Todd Blanche, now the Deputy Attorney General, Ghislaine Maxwell fills pages of the transcript talking about her friendship with Bobby, as she calls him. Ghislaine Maxwell, friend of Robert Kennedy Jr. She talked about being on the Epstein plane with Robert Kennedy Jr. And then Todd Blanche asked if she recalled there being anything inappropriate with Mr. Kennedy and masseuses or young women.
Do you have any recollection of Mr. Kennedy, of there being anything inappropriate with Mr. Kennedy and masseuses or young women on the trip you just talked about?
I never saw anything inappropriate with Mr. Kennedy.
And remember, folks, do we remember, folks, what she got in exchange for not telling on these people? I mean, it's obvious that that's what happened. She's now in a minimum security prison. She got transferred out of a supermax into a minimum security prison after the DOJ went and spoke to her. I mean, it's pretty obvious that that was a quid pro quo. She would not say out loud who was actually involved in these things because she's getting something for it. Okay. Yeah. Right, Meowzord. Yeah.
Massage from one of the masseuses, you know, either way.
I do not.
But not something you remember.
I mean, absolutely not. I mean, yesterday, if I didn't make it clear, I will reiterate it. I never, ever saw any man doing something inappropriate with a woman of any age.
Well, I guess that settles it. There's convicted sex trafficker.
I know, Mr. Justin. Oh my God,
who was indicted for perjury, saying that Robert Kennedy Jr. did nothing inappropriate with masseuses or young women, and in the same breath, she delivers the pure perjury of, I never, ever saw any man doing something inappropriate with a woman of any age.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that's actually a really good point that Lawrence O'Donnell is making. I mean, we know for a fact that, yeah, you're right, Louise. Of course you would say that. Like, we know for a fact that she almost certainly saw that stuff. So it is, obviously, she is clearly lying about that.
We have under oath testimony in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial that she was in the room while Jeffrey Epstein had sex with naked young girls more than once. We have under oath testimony in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial that she personally engaged in sexual activity with Jeffrey Epstein and those girls at the same time in the same room. And so the person who's telling you that Robert Kennedy Jr. didn't do anything inappropriate with masseuses and young women on Jeffrey Epstein's plane on a trip with Jeffrey Epstein is the very same person who in the very same breath tells the lie, I never, ever saw any man doing something inappropriate with a woman of any age. Robert Kennedy Jr. is more interested in what's in the Epstein files than any other cabinet member in the Trump cabinet.
Yep.
And today, when he was not under oath, Robert Kennedy Jr. said several things that absolutely would be perjury if he were testifying under oath, including this.
Do you think the women on the steps of the Capitol were a hoax yesterday?
I don't know about any women on the steps of the Capitol.
The women who were talking about Epstein. Do you think they were a hoax yesterday?
Do I think they were?
Do you think they were perpetrating a hoax yesterday?
Right, Alan, I agree.
A hoax?
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were saying. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
You're hearing about the women on the Capitol steps saying that they believe that the Epstein information should be made public. That's the first you're hearing about it. What I'm saying is you are perpetrating hoaxes. You, as the Secretary of Health. So you're undermining the whole healthcare delivery system. And you keep trying to point to chronic disease. But you're not putting solutions on the table to cover more Americans. And you're taking away the science and technology that has made us the leader that has saved, according to the first Trump administration Surgeon General, millions of lives. And you don't want to keep that going.
Point, Louise. They
so
were
no,
children.
I don't support your continued efforts as Secretary.
Now you know what he looks like when he's lying.
Right.
Of course, you already did.
Right, Alyssa?
He actually said, I don't know about any women on the steps of the Capitol yesterday. That's a lie.
Yeah,
that's a lie. The world knows that's a lie. And he has he believes Kennedy entitled audacity.
And Jonas, I'm sorry, I got to pause for what Jonas said here. Jonas said, seriously hypocritical how these are the same guys that use horrendous crimes like this to drum up hatred to racial minorities. Why do you think they do that, Jonas? It's a distraction, right? You scapegoat when you don't want to talk about the crimes that you're committing or the crimes that your friends are committing. Okay. Louise asks, what's the age of consent in the USA, or does it differ from state to state? So generally, Louise, it is age 18. Now, certain states have various rules depending on how much older someone is, but generally the age of consent is 18. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Justin's racial double standards. Okay.
To be able to sit there and lie in that committee, to you, to the world. He believes he was born with the right to lie like that. He says,
100%, Alan. I'm sorry, you guys are making such great comments. I know I keep pausing here. Alan says, like Trump is trying to ban trans people from owning guns, blaming a marginalized group instead of addressing the actual problem. 100%. Trans people have been a massive target of this scapegoating. I'm actually going to do a stream sometime on scapegoating. It's a massively important aspect of fascism. You blame a small group that can't really defend itself because it's such a small group for all the country's problems. And by the way, and by the way, folks, if you are trans or you know trans people, now's the time to buy a gun. I'm not saying you should use it. I'm just saying really, you ought to arm yourselves. I'm not even joking, because there's also the added side effect here that if trans people can't own guns, what do we think will end up happening? So, you all know I'm not a big fan of guns, but let's admit it, desperate times call for desperate measures. You should arm yourselves, for your own safety. And if you love someone who is transgender, if you have a family member who is transgender, you may also want to arm up. Okay, okay, just right. Yeah.
I'm hearing about it. That's a lie. You know that's a lie. Everyone knows that's a lie. Everyone in Washington, everyone in the country knew what was happening on the steps of the Capitol last night. Robert Kennedy Jr. sat in the witness chair in the Senate Finance Committee and accused United States senators of lying.
You're right, Alan W.
That has never happened in the witness chair in that hearing room before, where I worked on the staff of that committee during hundreds of hearings over several years. The birthright that he believes he has to any job that he's unqualified for comes with, he believes, the right to lie to anyone about anything, including when lives are at stake, the right to lie to parents about how to keep their children healthy, the right to lie to this country about public health, the right to lie to the world about vaccines. He believes he has that right.
Mm-hmm.
Our first guest tonight, Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock, represents Atlanta, the home of the Centers for Disease Control, which was the target of a madman with a gun who killed himself after killing DeKalb County police officer David Rose and firing over 500 bullets at the CDC. The investigation found that the shooter wanted to make the public aware that he shares Robert Kennedy Jr.'s distrust of vaccines.
Entrepreneurs are liars.
Okay,
we lie
sorry,
to ourselves
got an ad
every
here.
day, and that's exactly how I ended up doing the work of 5 people by myself. We tell ourselves.
Okay, so folks, I think we're almost done here. Just a reminder: if we get 3 more super chats, I'll put on the jester collar. So anyway, okay, let's continue.
Did you say that the CDC was, quote, the most corrupt federal agency in the history of the world?
Not the history of the world, but definitely
Did you say
HHS.
Did you say that?
I did not say that, but I did say it's the most corrupt agency at HHS, and maybe the government.
So you call the CDC corrupt. Did you say that CDC staff are, quote, horrible people?
Horrible people?
Did you say that they're killing children and they don't care?
No.
Okay, I think that we all have a history of listening to you and these answers, but you're on the record for a number of these statements. Despite your lack of credentials and expertise, clearly you have an agenda. It is a threat to the public health of the American
Raphael
people.
Warnock, is that
it's
who
clear
that is?
that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs, which is why you attempted to fire Dr.
We're the sickest people in the world. We're the sickest people on earth.
I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
Secretary Kennedy, for the first time, we're seeing deaths from children from measles. We haven't seen that in 2 decades. We're seeing that under your watch. You are a hazard to the health of the American people.
Can I respond to that, Senator?
No, I claim back my time.
We need to wrap
You
up.
are a hazard to the health of the American people. I think that you ought to resign. And if you don't resign, the President of the United States, who put forward Operation Warp Speed, which worked, should fire you. Thank you so much.
That was really good. Thank you, Malzord. That was really good. Okay, guys. How am I a threat? Ask the man in power. Right? Oh, I know. Right? It's you notice how like all these guys, like all these people in power are such little babies, crying little babies, thinking that they are all under threat all the time from these minority groups and Muslims and things like that. It's funny. It's just funny to me. Like there's little scaredy cats. At least that's what they appear to be. And it's not. It's not that they just hate those groups and so they want to disarm them, etc. Okay, that was really good. Okay, let me see what else we got here, folks. Let me do my little self promotion here. I haven't even done it once this stream. So for those that are watching, if you like what you're seeing and you want to comment, please, you can click the subscribe button and you'll be able to comment within 5 minutes. Also, if you want to support me for as little as 99 cents a month, you can support the channel. That helps me a lot to grow the channel and stuff. And if you do support me for 99 cents a month by clicking the join button, you get a cute little jester hat next to your name, and you can use any one of the members-only emojis that you can find in chat. You can also support me on Patreon for $5 a month, which will help me grow the channel even more, etc., etc. Yeah. And did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. Please like the stream if you haven't already. That'll help get more people in here. What else? What other self-promotion do I need to do here? Okay, Edward Bernays, call upon the spirit of Edward Bernays to help me out here. Okay, I think that's good. All right. So, I know, Alyssa. It's I don't know why our fellow Americans do this. I mean, I mean, I do know, but it's really discouraging, very discouraging. All right, guys, let me find another video here for us to watch. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, this is a good one. We'll watch this one. This is Macy. Another great one for Macy here. One second here. This one is titled.
If we lost you at
and I'll
charity,
pull it up here.
we get it.
Turning now to the economy.
Americans are skipping breakfast as they go broke. Okay. Oh. Let me just get this down over here. Tiago, I suspect it's funny for you, as like I'm sure it might be comedic to watch from abroad, but when you're living in it, it is not very funny, I guess you could say. All right. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Justins, you all are going to make me cry here. You all know I can get emotional when I hear about people suffering this way. But let me, I'm going to pull up. Let me make sure I got the right audio here. So again, this one, folks, is about from Breaking Points. Okay, so let's watch here. Let's see what Sagar and Crystal have to say if she's on here. Okay, folks. And by the way, folks, well, also just remember, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, according to scientists. It is not a good idea to skip. It is not a good idea to skip breakfast. But I know the economic situation makes that really difficult. So, okay, let's watch.
Economy, as we said, into where we can actually look to some truth. Unfortunately, it comes from the CEO of McDonald's, who shockingly actually dropped some truth bombs on CNBC about how divided the country is on whether you make over $100,000 or not. Let's take a listen.
Part of what we also saw was that, particularly with middle and lower income consumers, they're feeling under a lot of pressure right now. I think there's a lot of commentary about what's the state of the economy, how's it doing, and what we see is it's really kind of a two-tier economy. If you're upper income, earning over $100,000, things are good. Stock markets are near all-time highs. You're feeling.
By the way, this is really interesting that the CEO of McDonald's is even admitting this, right? I mean, not a fan of the guy, not a fan of the company. I mean, admittedly, I do go to a McDonald's sometimes, folks. I can't help it, but because they have really good fries. But anyway, but like the fact that don't do it though. Okay, you shouldn't. But he like the fact that he's admitting this is a sign that it must be bad, right?
Quite confident about things. You're seeing international travel, all those barometers of upper income consumers are doing quite well.
Dolly Boy.
What we see with middle and lower income consumers is actually a different story. It's that consumers under a lot of pressure in our industry. Traffic for lower income consumers is down double digits. And it's because people are either choosing to skip a meal. So we're seeing breakfast. People are actually skipping breakfast, or they're choosing to just eat at home. And so for our business,
guys, I had students, like in my last few years of teaching, it got worse year by year, who would come in that hadn't eaten breakfast. I had to keep a stockpile of food in my room that I bought with my own money because my students wouldn't be able to learn. They didn't have breakfast. You need that food. And by the way, when you're growing up as a child, that is important for the development of your brain to be fed, right? I mean, I feel like that's obvious. So we're not only creating a situation for these children now, we're creating a situation where when they get older, their brains may not have developed in the way they need to. It is disastrous, and it is deeply, deeply depressing to think about.
Which has a significant group of consumers which are in that middle and lower income we needed to step in with something like what we're doing here.
Listen to the CEO of McDonald's. People are skipping breakfast. Stuff is now, I will say on McDonald's, it's still outrageously expensive compared to where it used to be. I don't eat McDonald's maybe more than 2 or 3 times a year. My wife gets hungry for it. She's nursing, whatever. She gets what she wants. So I go to McDonald's. The McGriddle, it costs.
Right, blame your wife. Okay.
It's been $9. And I tweeted about that. People made fun of me because apparently I don't use the app. No, I'm not degenerate enough to have the McDonald's app or to be knowledgeable enough about set deals. But in my head, as a child of the 90s, you're on a road trip and you roll up to McDonald's. How much do you think that should cost? Couple bucks? You know, at $1.99?
So I will say, I'm sorry, I'm going to pause. I'm seeing some really great chats here. Universal breakfast. Thank you, Alyssa. Yes, Alyssa. Universal breakfast and lunch at schools. Now, the Trump administration has majorly defunded that free breakfast at schools and things like that. It is monstrous to say the least. Obese populations can also be malnourished. Yeah, Macy, you're right. As a matter of fact, in the United States, there's a correlation between obesity and poverty. And it doesn't mean that those people are getting what they need. It means that they can only afford food that is not good for them. And they live in food deserts a lot. So we are anyway, and plus it also increases cost of health if you're obese, which means that if you're in poverty and you're obese, you also have more health costs. It's a problem. Obviously, Mr. Justins, shit. You say I'm below 50K a year. Yeah, Mr. Justins, you're absolutely, as you know, not the only one. America is a shithole right now. It treats its population like they're just peasants who need to be on the land serving their lords. I'm gonna start getting angry here. Yeah, you absolutely. Mithril, my grandson, age 2, loves tomatoes on toast. Oh, that's lovely, Mithril. That's lovely. Macy, time to blacklist Al. Yeah, she's gone. Yeah, exactly. Alyssa, you've gone full commie. You're communist. How dare you say that kids should be able to eat breakfast? Okay, Tiago, in Portugal, you have different meals a day in school for free. It's like a normal thing for us. Yeah, folks, for all the Americans in chat, listen to that. All the English folks and all the Portuguese folks in chat. All of their countries, much more civilized countries than ours, they feel that children deserve to eat. I just don't understand it. I really. It blows my mind. Okay, Alyssa, are you kidding me? Yeah, Bettina, you're right. Nutrition in childhood affects the trajectory of one's whole life. Yeah, all the science shows that. And Alyssa's saying my son's school literally has a raffle for the kids on free or reduced lunch. What is this? Is this the Hunger Games? Oh my God. Oh, you're gonna make my eyes well up, folks. Mithril, the UK government is awful, but they're trying to introduce free breakfast clubs for all pupils. Hey, I thought they did have that. I may have been wrong there, but hey, at least they're trying. Okay, yeah, Dolly Boy, modern day medieval serfs. That's what we're becoming here. Yeah, you get a stipend for jury duty. Why? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you, Tiago. You're right. It's like your pro-life party doesn't really care about kids. I'll add further to that, Tiago. The so-called pro-life party doesn't care about life. They don't care about the life of women. They don't care about the life of children. They don't care about the life of Palestinians. They're murderous monsters. And this is why I want a guillotine tattoo. Okay? Yeah, Macy, yeah, the Dust Bowl. Yeah, okay. Henry G, I gave my lunch to friends. Luckily, I had the resources to eat, but they didn't. Like this, unbelievable. Okay, I'm sorry. Macy, you're absolutely right. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll get back into this. I want to make sure I didn't miss any chats here because I kind of stopped looking at the. There we go. Okay. All right. Oh, okay, let's continue.
And yet, it's not just the price. What he really said there, which is important, is if you look, he said below 100,000, you're seeing a massive reduction in lower income consumers being able.
Yeah, and how many? As I think it was Alyssa that said, how many of us have $100,000 or more a year? I would bet that practically none of us do. If not, maybe like 1 or 2. Okay.
Go out to eat, and people are skipping breakfast. Now, I think that's hopefully they're getting enough to eat, elsewhere, and we're trying to eat at home. But the totality of it is that
Jonas, you once again are speaking my language here. That sounded angry when I said that, Jonas. I'm not. Jonas says, I don't get how the USA can find an insane amount of money to produce weapons and engage in wars, but can't feed their kids. I couldn't say it better. We have no problem building any kind of weapon we want to literally explode children, burn them alive, okay? But we can't find a few extra. We can also find plenty of money to cut taxes for the rich over and over and over again.
Yeah, it might be marginally cheaper on a percent basis to eat at home, but it's still really expensive to eat at home. If you're talking about a cup of coffee, we've talked here about coffee futures, Folgers, and more, it's actually exploded in price. Even if you look at the basic necessities of goods, meat in particular, protein, the price is just astounding. You can still eat cheap if you want to. It takes a lot more effort than it used to in the past. So if you put that together, I think here is where you should listen to the CEO of McDonald's or the CEO of Walmart or these other people who have to cater to all these customers. And now McDonald's is scrambling to try and bring back, below $5 meals and more because they can see the consumer cannot afford it. That's the real tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, down double digits, he says, traffic from lower income consumers. I mean, that is a very significant sign. And it's not just that the
and
price.
Again, folks, sorry, I know I keep stopping it. I apologize. Let's see here. JMax says, and help fund a genocide in a country that has universal health care and people die here. By the way, folks, Israel has a budget surplus. A budget surplus. And yet we're still shoveling billions of dollars to them while not feeding our own kids. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Justins. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Justins, as I've grown up, I've realized how much a monster a country is as someone whose favorite class was history. Yeah. And how much they've tried to rewrite it. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, Dally Boy. Yeah. Oh, J-Mac. Oh, I know. Netanyahu. Oh, don't get me started, J-Mac. Don't get me started. Okay, we'll continue.
Are high. It's also that the wages are not keeping up. We covered previously. I mean, I think the two-tier economy comment is the perfect way to think about it. You've got the stock market that just keeps going up and up and up, seemingly totally divorced. We'll talk more about what's going on there from the actual real economy, what people deal with, trying to make ends meet on a day-to-day basis. And meanwhile, especially lower quintile wages are not keeping pace with inflation. So people are struggling. They're going into deeper and deeper debt. They are very pessimistic about
I'm sorry, I missed what did Demosthenes say? Did I miss something Demosthenes said? Is that true, Demosthenes? Oh, that's good. I know some states do offer it. Some states do offer free healthcare or free, school lunches. For example, Tim Walz' state, I think, what is it? Minnesota offered free school lunches. But many states do not. Okay. Yeah, a lot of states do that. But again, the fact that so many kids are not going hungry is insane. In the places I've worked, it's been very low-income communities, in red states especially, so that must be worse there.
Future. They are holding back on any purchases that they can. They're apparently skipping breakfast so that they can make it all work in their budget. So these are dire indications of where the economy is headed right now.
Absolutely. And there is some really troubling stuff behind the scenes. And I've talked about this in particular with the stocks. I was like, man, I just don't get how with inflation, with reduction in consumer spending, tariffs, how can the market continue to go up? Well, now we have a little bit more of the story. Let's put this up here on the screen. Fantastic piece by the Wall Street Journal. Behind this season's bumper earnings, job cuts, price hikes, glum workers. Quote, consumer spending is not.
Can you guys hear the video? I think I sped it up accidentally to like 1.5. I'll turn it back down to 1.25. I think it's a bit too fast for me. Okay, there we go.
Not driving company profits as much as reducing expenses, improving efficiency. That could be a problem. They say American companies are once again beating profit expectations, but they're not doing it by banking on blockbuster consumer spending. Instead, the latest batch of quarterly earnings gets a lift from managers who are squeezing out costs, boosting productivity, turning to new technologies, all of whom say they're holding down hiring, often while finding new ways to get employees to work more efficiently, aka work more, and are raising prices when they can. The processes are, quote, human light now. That is from one chief financial officer last month, telling investors about the initiative that includes automation upgrades. Global logistics say higher profit margins despite a nearly 8% drop in revenue, even though there is a prolonged freight recession. How do you do that? You raise your prices. And so, yeah, the companies are doing fine. The investors in the stocks are doing great because that's what they demand. The number has to go up. It literally must. It's an American contract. It's like baked into our blood at this point. But what does it mean for all of you? You're paying more. You are working more hours for less pay. You are potentially not going to get a raise. You may even get a price cut, and then you'll be lucky to actually work, and continue in your job. put that together, and it just makes a lot more sense about how exactly the McDonald's CEO with the straight face can talk about, oh, well, we're, we have all of this traffic down, et cetera, and all of that. But then if you look at the way that they continue to juice their profit, it will be, the $5 stuff and maintaining sales there, while also, I guess, taking advantage of idiots like me who apparently roll up to the window and pay $9.
Pay full price.
Yeah,
full
pay
price.
for McGriddle.
Don't download that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's going on in this article. I mean, first of all, AI has got to be a part of this as companies are increasingly trying to, instead of, hiring, when we're talking about white collar workforces, hiring those new college grads, whose, by the way, unemployment rate has really skyrocketed and is quite high at this point, rather than hiring those new college grads.
By the way, Dolly Boy says, thinking about it, the U.S. is kind of like Victorian Britain, superpower with massive influence worldwide, and yet people in the home nation basically live in the slums. This is, again, folks, the folly of empire, okay? Most empires experience something very similar to that. Britain was the same way. Because that wealth that is gained from that empire is not for the people in the country. It's for the wealthy. It's for, in the case of Britain, the landed aristocracy, the capitalist industrialists, things like that. 100%. This, again, another reason that there's the folly of empire here, okay? The Roman Empire was one of the most powerful, because I'm always thinking about the Roman Empire. No, but was one of the most powerful empires in the world at the time. Rome was absolutely similar. The vast majority of the population lived in poverty or were slaves. There were very few people, like top 0.1% or something, that were extremely wealthy and were profiting off of it. There was very little to no middle class. Empires everywhere do this. So it is an ongoing thing.
They'll, use AI and force their existing workforce to work more to avoid building out their workforce and to save costs that way. You have them, what's called taking price. So using the excuse of tariffs, inflation, and also genuinely, facing higher costs in certain regards. They're using that to.
Jonas, are you Yaha? Because I did see that video and I mentioned it. I wasn't sure if you were here, but now that you're here, we can watch that next. Okay?
Hike prices even beyond what is required. And then the other thing they talk about in here is the financial engineering that's going on too. So share buybacks, they say, have helped put a shine on profits, reducing the number of shares outstanding increases companies' earnings per share numbers mechanically, regardless of operating results. Overall, LSEG data indicates that repurchases added about 1.3 percentage points to the S&P 500's gains in the second quarter. So some of this is just, financial engineering, basically like smoke and mirrors, sort of accounting tricks to get things to look better than they actually are. So that's a piece of it as well.
I'm worried we're in like a bubble here where there's a lot of this financial stuff going on that's creating an illusion of growth. Okay, Jonas, then yes. Okay. Yep. So again, like we might be in a bubble where companies are trying to make their stock look better. And God knows when the reality comes out, that bubble will burst.
But if you look through this article, they have a chart in there that's pretty stunning where they look at consumer spending, consumer purchases, and then they take out inflation, they take out the price increases. And the line, if you don't take them out, then the line of consumer spending, it's going up and up and people must be doing okay. If you take that out, it's flat since 2021. So, I mean, that tells you a lot right there about how, how fake a lot of the, the profits that are being generated here by these companies and how little bearing they have on what is actually going on with your average consumer out there.
Yeah, and again, this is the Biden story. Everyone understood that under Biden. The S&P was up by like 60% over the entire course. Were you 60% better off if you were invested? Yeah. If you were buying stuff, no. If you're buying steak at Costco, good luck. All right. Go ahead and what a lot of people have done. If you really want to feel truly crazy, go into your Amazon cart and scroll all the way back to 2020 and go look at what you were paying for basics and then compare it to today. You can do that with Walmart if you use Walmart or any of these other places. You can.
But according to Trump, right, the cost of groceries is down. The cost of groceries is down. There's no problems with groceries anymore.
Even look at your credit card bill broadly and look at. I use like tracking. I know exactly how much I pay for like at the grocery store, for example. You can compare based on 5 years ago to today, and just general keep in mind it is astounding. Sometimes like 40 or 50% higher, depending on the number of goods. You're also showing.
J-Mac, I'm gay, but yeah, I totally also have a crush on Emma from the Majority Report.
Stuff is showing up in all kinds of the wrong places. So both the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal just wrote stories about how Black Americans in particular seem to be struggling right now. Let's put this up here on the screen. Both of them, what they say on the New York Times side is that if you look at this, it's largely a cuts to federal agencies. And that's also an important part of the story because the federal government is the largest employer in the United States. And they said that this is one of the most staggering losses of employment that Black women have ever seen in our current economy. On the Wall Street Journal side, they say unemployment may remain historically low, but unemployment for Black Americans is some 7.2%. 100%. Probably, again, attributable, it seems, to like federal agencies. But the point just broadly is, for Trump, one of the things that he could hang his hat on when he got elected was what? Was, oh, I got historic margins with black people. I got historic margins with Hispanic people. And, you know, if you talk to a lot of those guys, or gals, guys, and in some cases gals, what did they say that they voted for Trump on? The economy. They were fed up with Biden, and they didn't feel like Kamala was going to do anything about it. So, look, pocketbook and all that, sometimes it's number one, not always, but I do think it can be very disillusioning broadly when you look at all that. And the general experience of being an American consumer today, in my opinion, is hellish. Like, it's just deeply expensive. Everything is pay for play, no matter what.
Yeah, you feel exploited at every time.
You really are. I mean, it's like, you go out to a restaurant. I don't drink alcohol.
Mithril, if you join our Discord, is anyone here who could put that in chat? I can put it in chat. But Mithril, I don't know if you're in our Discord. If you are, you should join it and then upload that video to the reaction section, and I will react to it. I would love to do an utterly impartial history of Britain, or 2,000-year history of upper-class idiots. Yep.
You go out to a restaurant, and it's not...
By the way, screw the monarchy. It should be gone. The people of Britain should rule Britain.
Even particularly good, and it's like $60, $70. And you're like, what am I paying for? Like, again, in my head, it should be $35. Should have just stayed at home, you know? Same with the drive-through. Just everything. Apparently, Disney World, I talked about this. You go there, they charge you at every step.
All the subscriptions, like now, if you're a big NBA fan and you want to watch all the games,
good luck.
Yeah, you have to buy like freaking 7 different streaming packages in order to pull it off. So like this deal we thought we were getting with the cord cutting and cable going away, now we're just getting screwed. Now every company out there can nickel and dime you, or much more than that, frankly, to death.
Henry G, I am gay, and I also think Zoran is bae. Yep.
So yeah, it feels the level of sort of pillaging and exploitation has been through the roof. It's been absolutely insane. And just to go back to what we're saying about black workers. Black workers are frequently, the reason it's an important statistic, obviously, is because we want people to have jobs. They also tend to be canary in the coal mine for the economy, because historically, unfortunately, you have black people higher represented in low wage, lower skill employment. And so you have that dynamic, and then you also have the American government, the federal government, has been, helped to build out the American black middle class. And that is nowhere is more evident than in and around DC.
Yes.
And so when you have Doge coming in and just wantonly slashing random government positions, not saving any money, by the way, just making everything worse and kicking people out of a job, you can see the effects of that showing up in the black unemployment rate. And I'm sure that is especially pronounced right here in this region.
Absolutely. To your point, I don't know, do you know what NFL Red Zone is? I know that a lot of my friends are not taking this well. Well, anyway, I'm sure a lot of our bro audience does. Now, I think you pay for it. It's like to be able to watch all the games or something, whatever. But the point, they're going to have commercials. So you pay for it and you have to watch commercials. That's how everything works now. Everything. Or, it's like Hulu. It's like, you can pay $7.99 to watch with ads. Or you can pay $14.99 to watch with no. Like $14.99 for like a show that you might watch once a year. And then, you got to have Netflix too. And then, you have to have Disney Plus. Just had a kid. Apparently, got to have Disney Plus. Well, if you're going to have Disney Plus, you might as well have the Disney Plus version with no ads, because then the kids will get angry. It's just, it never ends. It's everything. Everything is subscription. Everything is pay for play. And even what you're paying for is not even particular.
And by the way, folks, have you noticed too, like these pay for these subscription services do everything they can to get you stuck in that cycle and make it harder for you to unsubscribe and things like that. Now, I will say it's not as bad now as it used to be. It's pretty easy to unsubscribe from them, but you can do free trials, but then if you do the free trial and you forget to unsubscribe, it'll start taking money out of your account automatically. There's all these things they do to keep taking money out of your account. And things like that. Exactly, Alyssa. Or they'll if you do subscribe at a lower level, you'll still get tons of ads. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, Meowzord. Okay. Let's go.
Really good.
This is video games. It's the same thing.
I know. I've heard that.
It's
like Roblox.
You may pay on the front end, or you may not pay on the front end, to download this game. But then if you want to do this thing in the game, or you want to rise to this level in the game, then you got to buy the Robux. You got to do this.
It's
crazy.
You can play for it, or you could pay to get around. I think it's out for, again, I don't know.
I mean, it varies per game, but if you are willing to shell out the dollars, then you're going to advance more in the game and participate in the full experience or whatever. It's I mean, it's just at every turn. And not to be all back in my day, but back in my day, you bought the game and that was it. That was the end of the story.
Well, they could never have envisioned. They would have done it if they could have. They just didn't have the ability to do so and to milk people for as much money as possible. So I don't know. I really, sometimes when I look at the average prices and then I look at the average income, I do not understand how people make it at all. Like, period. Just the monthly nut, the absolute basics. I'm like, do you have any money left at all? And then no, you look at the credit card numbers and all that. I'm like, yeah, that's the only way that any of it makes sense. By the way, some breaking news just came across the wire. U.S. companies have announced just 1,400 new jobs in August. That's the lowest for the month since 2009. Layoffs surging to 39%. All right, folks,
I'm going to stop there. I think the rest of it's just them kind of talking about the jobs and some of the other economic indicators. That was great, though. Them talking about the McDonald's things and stuff. Pizza, welcome back, Pizza. Glad to see you here. All right. So, okay, that was good. Let's see what else we got. Let's see here. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll keep streaming for a while. All right, so let me see here. Let's go here. Let me see what else. The one there's Yaha. Okay, so we're gonna watch Jonas's one here. I actually had it already pulled up because I wanted to watch it first, but I didn't know that Jonas was here. So here we go. We'll watch this. Okay, playback 1.5. This is called "I Worked at Palantir," the tech company reshaping reality. Oh, this is going to be terrifying, folks. By the way, I love the organization More Perfect Union. Fantastic organization. Does a lot of great activism on behalf of labor. Yeah. So, okay, guys. So let's do that. Just a reminder, folks, if I get 3 more super chats, or what is it now? It'd be 3 more super chats, or I don't know, some amount of money. I will put on the gesture collar. So yeah, thank you for everyone who has donated already. Okay. And by the way, folks, today I posted a new video on my YouTube channel. If you want to go over there and watch it or give it some help me out by giving it some, what is it called? Engagement. Okay. It's the one about my healthcare reaction. All right. Yeah, I believe it, Jonas. I totally believe it. I'm looking forward to the horror. Okay. I'm going to make sure that the sound is on here, doing the right thing as always, because I've learned my lesson there. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, let's watch this real fast. Now I'm going to step away from the computer. I'll still be able to hear it. I have it on my speakers. So you might see me. Actually, you know what? Just give me 1 second, folks. I'll be right back. I just had to grab a drink of water real fast. All right. I am back. I left for a second too, Tiago, so it's okay. I forgive you. Okay, guys, again, 3 more super chats. I'll put on the gesture hat. And let us begin. This is called "I Worked at Palantir," the tech company reshaping reality. Okay, let's go.
Employer, it's taboo to do that. But to criticize an employer that also owns extremely lethal technologies and surveillance technologies that are highly invasive and used in war zones is something else entirely.
It's 2025. We're all kind of used to government surveillance. The idea that we're all being watched all the time and don't own our own personal data has become normalized. We're also used to the military spending vast amounts of our money on just a few giant defense contractors. But one tech company wants to change both of those things
and become the ultimate military contractor and the ultimate arbiter of
Oh God, they already are a
data.
military contractor.
Palantir
Great.
is here
Great.
to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Check out Palantir shares surging.
Wait, you right? Is that right, Meowzord? The Pentagon came out and said that Trump official says that the Trump boat strike was a criminal attack on civilians. That is a good sign. I have to look into it. That'd be odd for the Pentagon, but that's interesting. Let me just double check I didn't miss anything here. Mithril, I don't want to be one of Peter Thiel's blood boys. Oh, I know, right? Ugh, okay. Thank you, Meowzord. Thank you. I'll take a look at that. Palantir, folks, horrible, evil company For the people from the UK in chat, I know Mithril probably knows since your name is Mithril. But I've told you like the word Palantir is kind of revealing if you know Tolkien. Okay.
22% after the company cited a boom in demand for its AI software from the U.S. government.
We're doing it.
Well, one of their big customers is Israel, by the way. I've said this many times. I'm going to keep saying it. They'll look up Lavender in the Where's Daddy program.
We're doing it, and I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
Palantir, a tech company based here in Denver, claims they can revolutionize government systems with their data analysis software, newly powered by artificial intelligence. They've been hired by the Department of Defense, the FBI, local police departments, and even the IRS and Wendy's to take in the information those organizations collect even more
all those great
and use that data
right?
to draw conclusions.
It can be used to completely reconfigure organizations' ontology, its reality, what systems matter, what information matters, what processes matter, how they are structured, what biases are introduced at each of those stages.
We talked to a former Palantir employee, dug into decades of research, and listened to hours of Alex Karp's own words.
Is that so? I didn't know about that, Alan. Alan W. says the guy on the right there, the CEO, has bragged about his technology being used to slaughter Palestinians, calling them all terrorists. Folks, bring back the guillotine.
To unwrap the layers of Palantir's carefully cultivated sales pitch, how they capitalize on fear, uncertainty, and unrest.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination. This is a company built for bad times.
It is like Joffrey.
Bad times mean strong finances internally. Bad times are very good for Palantir because we build products that are robust, that are built for danger.
Let's
Jesus
rewind.
Christ.
Palantir's story starts with one of the most effective things a company can have for sales: fear. After the September 11th attacks, the United States government began expanding surveillance both at home and abroad. This was, of course, a boon for the defense industry at large. Simultaneously, the Silicon Valley tech industry was growing fast and making people in a once obscure industry very, very rich, very, very quickly. Like the founders and executives at PayPal, known as the PayPal Mafia. Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman.
Folks, remember, a lot of these people, too, are the ones involved in the idea of the Dark Enlightenment. I mean, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, a lot of the PayPal Mafia, okay? Let's grind up poor people and literally, remember, we watched this, grind up poor people and use them as biofuel or put them into a computer so they're happy. Okay.
And the LinkedIn guy, and Peter Thiel. When PayPal was sold, Thiel had millions of dollars burning a hole in his pocket and an idea. PayPal had developed systems for detecting fraud and crimes in the platform. What if they could use similar thinking to analyze the world at large? So Thiel pulled from his network to build out a new company. One of the first hires was Thiel's Stanford Law School roommate, Alex Karp, who'd gone on after Stanford to get a PhD in not business or computer science or engineering, but neoclassical social theory. They named the company Palantir, after the Palantiri from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
In Lord of the Rings, a Palantir stone is a magical object that allows its users to predict the future or to see what's going on in a remote location.
It was originally created by the elves. It was meant to be used for good purposes. It is potentially a very dangerous technology. It's very powerful.
Long have you hunted me?
See, I like it. So Peter Thiel has said before that he's read Lord of the Rings like 7 times or something. So he knows what the Palantirs are. He knows the implication there.
So that's Middle Earth, but what does Palantir do in a regular Earth?
And what we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based research. So we would look at you, and then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Put simpler, they make software that makes it easier for their customers to collect and analyze data, and then act on that analysis with and without AI. By 2013, 10 years after their founding, Palantir's client list included the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Marines, the Air Force, Special Operations Command.
All these extremely ethical organizations, right? All these very ethical, non-war crimey organizations.
And more.
Did your company help to track and kill Osama bin Laden?
You know, we can never. I'll tell you, the closest thing to an answer is when you look at when you open the paper and look in the news about these kind of things, there's a 2/3 chance, depending on the country involved, that somehow my company was involved.
Fundamentally, the mission that is pushed to employees is that we're solving the world's hardest problems and supporting Western institutions. That is the main driver.
Western Institute. Okay, again, folks, it's always a red flag when people start talking about Western civilization and Western institutions, okay? I'm not going to go into it. I think you can guess why. Dally Boy, you say, and Mossad, I'd assume they are involved with them. Yep. Look up Lavender, look up the Where's Daddy program. Also, Mossad has been using them, or at least the Israeli government, the military has been using it to track journalists and things like that, and slaughter civilians, as they like to do.
Of sort of this militaristic culture that is developed inside of Palantir.
If you do not feel comfortable supporting...
Right, J-Mac. Right, exactly, J-Mac. Like when they say Western, he says defend Western things, it is a dog whistle a lot of the times for white folks, Europeans, Americans, and it also implies a belief in the inferiority of people who are not from Europe or North America, or like from Canada or the United States. Okay, like there's all these really racist things mixed up in it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And you're right, Dolly Boy. Now, you'll know sometimes I use the word civilization or uncivilized. Of course, I hope you all know I use that to make a point about America. But yes, okay, those words are all very, very archaic words used by old-fashioned biological racists. Yeah, please do, Alan. Love that. It has. You're right, J-Mac. Like, whiteness is not... yeah.
legitimate efforts of America and its allies in the context of war. Don't join Palantir.
This entire message of like, we are the most lethal, we are the most able to.
Mr. Justin says, good thing we don't groom the most poor and desperate to enlist and tell them they are heroes when giving them illegal orders and training them to follow orders barked at them from a higher rank. Mr. Justins, you're speaking my language here, and I've seen it firsthand, especially in low-income neighborhoods. There's almost always an Army recruiter that comes into those schools. They don't go into suburban neighborhoods as much because they're trying to get the poor and people who might rely on it. Joshua Troop says, so when they say Western things, it's just a nudge to white supremacists. To be honest, Joshua, I am overgeneralizing. Not always. They don't always mean it that way. But you know when someone like him says it, that is almost certainly what they mean. There's actually historians who use the term Western civilization typically to refer to cultural groupings that arise from Europe and stuff. Even that has kind of an odd tinge to it, but I'm overgeneralizing. But yes, in this case, when people like that talk about it, you know what they're referring to.
To surveil and process large amounts of data.
You have created the system which you call kill chain.
Privately. Publicly, the lawyers have some innocuous something like tech for the amelioration of unwanted blah, blah, blah. Some term we're supposed to use.
Okay, let's...
for me, it's the kill chain.
Kill chain sounds good.
Kill chain isn't an original term created by Palantir. It's the more general military verbiage for the series of decisions leading from identifying a target to taking their life. Palantir's contract added their software and artificial intelligence to the kill chain.
It's quicker and better and safer and more violent.
It's tech that won.
Just the love of violence, that obsession with violence, and like, oh yeah, it's more violent. Yeah, let's kill. Yeah, it's more violent. Like so fascist, absolutely 100% so fascist. Remember when Mussolini was asked, "What is your party's platform?" He famously said, "My platform is the fist." Like it's just all about violence for them. They love it.
Helped market.
It reduces the distance you have to the problem, but when you're able to take a step back and really see all the narratives and how they were shaped and the actual application of these technologies, your whole world starts falling apart, which is something that, definitely happened to me.
Juan didn't leave Palantir entirely for ethical reasons. He just got another job. But the reason he eventually started speaking out against Palantir came after watching the Israeli invasion of Gaza following the October 7th attacks. Palantir has contracts with the Israeli Defense Forces. The exact nature of the contracts is opaque, intentionally, but there is
This is just a side note, folks. I doubt it's because I'm biased, but these Israeli uniforms, like the vomit green, it's like, come on, guys. Like, come on. I mean, you're gonna need like that's just it's not a good color. Plus, it'll be hard to see the blood splatter all over them. Might want to, just terrible uniform. I'm sure I'm not biased when I say that. I doubt, okay.
Forces. The exact nature of the contracts is opaque, intentionally, but there is evidence to suggest that Palantir's artificial intelligence tech was used for selecting targets in Gaza. CARP doesn't mind the controversy. In fact, it's part of the marketing.
Palantir will even pick up the projects that other companies rejected for political reasons.
We are very comfortable being unpopular.
CARP doesn't think controversy will lose Palantir customers.
Whatever is pissing them off, they're still buying the product.
Wendy's hired Palantir to help with their supply chain. Palantir works with health insurance companies to build AI for denials management to protect revenue.
Do you want Palantir's AI making decisions about what care is covered for you and your loved ones?
They also do business with for-profit hospitals, major investment banks, and even other defense contractors. In 2024, Palantir brought in nearly $2.9 billion in revenue, 55% of which came from government sources, with the vast majority being American. So let's look at their pitch to the American government. Last year, Palantir CTO Shyam Sankar put out a presentation and white paper called The Defense Reformation. He cites The Last Supper, which was a secretive 1993 meeting between defense industry executives and the Deputy Secretary of Defense. Over a dozen companies walked in, and only a few...
Okay, let's see these companies. Lockheed Martin. Oh, no surprise there. No surprise there. Yep, Dally Boy it is. It is. Free Luigi, okay. Boeing, okay. Yep, Boeing, RTX, yep, another weapons tech giant. Also, all these companies, by the way, donate massively to politicians, especially those politicians like Lindsey Graham, who never saw a war he didn't want to begin. Northrop Grumman, 100%. General Dynamics. I'm surprised Raytheon isn't up here, but these are all very, very, very prolific producers of weapons who bribe politicians.
Walked out. That dinner is often cited as the origin of our consolidated military-industrial complex.
And to me, I think this was the definitive moment that kicked off the financialization of defense. From that point forward, it became all about...
Look how happy he is. He's so happy. Look at that. Oh my God, we're selling so many weapons. I just love slaughtering people. Oh my God, we're making so much money with the death of children. I love it. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Oh my, these people, I just can't.
Buybacks and dividends and leverage ratios.
Criticizing the financialization of the defense industry, calling out stock buybacks, that doesn't sound like a defense executive. That sounds more like the exact argument about the defense industry that we have made before.
I think what's interesting to me about Palantir is how they co-opt the language of revolution.
100
But Sankar's argument did work on somebody, Uncle Sam. The Defense Innovation Board, an advisory group within the Department of Defense, cited Sankar's presentation multiple times in their 2024 report on why the DoD needs to divert more of their budget to emerging technology. That's giving money to Palantir. There's a reason Palantir...
Yeah, and again, folks, there's a reason they put their little, if you noticed at the bottom of that document, there was a little thing that said where it's coming from, because all those politicians that are being bribed will see that and be like, oh, so this is what the companies who bribe me want. So I better do that, okay? Yeah, oh, I know, Dolly Boy. It's just, I just don't, these people are sociopaths, right? Right, Joshua, yeah, give war a chance, Sundowner. Yep,
Palantir just replaced Ford Motors in the S&P 100 in the months after Trump was elected. The Trump administration is an ideal customer for what Palantir is selling. First, there are many former Palantir employees sprinkled across the Trump administration.
Okay, which one of these is Big Balls? Oh, Big Ball, this is, okay, Big Balls is the one right here, the one that was... who was brutally beaten up in Washington. Oh, what a shame, really. I'm sure we're all shedding a tear for Big Balls. Okay.
From inside Doge to foreign policy advisors to high-level technology appointees. And Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel, heavily invested in the company, is also heavily invested in President Trump and Vice President Vance. He was a major campaign donor to both. Then the stated goal of Doge is to streamline and combine government data, which is exactly what Palantir does.
But the ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other.
And obviously, Karp is loving it.
Disruption at the end of the day exposes things that aren't working. There'll be ups and downs.
So, J-Mac? I didn't know.
Some people can get their heads cut off. Like, you know, it's like we're expecting to see really unexpected things and to win.
And what is winning, according to Palantir? This is CTO Shyam Sankar in 2021.
Turning to government, we continue to advance our mission of becoming the U.S. government's central operating system as we extend our footprint across defense, healthcare, and civilian agencies.
The government's
Jesus Christ, they're like bragging. He's like, we're extending our power like an octopus all over all aspects of American society, okay? But of course, as Yalzord said, I'm trying to go back to find the quote here, capitalism is the broodmare for sociopaths. Yeah, because they're making money off of it, and that's all that matters. Yeah, it's very boring dystopia. I totally agree. Jonas also said we're living in a dystopia. Yeah, we are. And folks, remember, a lot of these guys, a lot of these tech folks who are into like dark enlightenment and stuff, grew up, are obsessed with sci-fi and are obsessed with these dystopian notions of a future, and they literally are trying to enact it. Tiago, absolutely. The big brother is watching you. Yeah, 1984.
They want everything to funnel through Palantir. Palantir already has contracts with the IRS, going through taxpayer data to save auditors time by finding the easiest audits to pursue. Now, Wired reports, Doge will likely hire Palantir to create unified software for the entire IRS, a mega API that would allow anyone with access to view and possibly alter all IRS data in one place. That's all of your financial information.
Yep.
And they have multiple contracts with the Department of Health and Human Services, including nearly $100 million to support HHS's core administrative data and applications, to manage, ingest, and access data securely across business domains. HHS's core responsibility is Medicare and Medicaid. That's control over millions of Americans' health records and their access to healthcare. So what does it mean for one contractor to have all that power, data, and taxpayer money as profit, especially as AI gets involved?
As we kind of increasingly live in a simulated world, we lose touch with reality and the human decisions that matter, and we move closer towards governance by algorithm, not only made by decisions of automated artificial intelligence systems, which is a problem, but more importantly, subject to decisions made by the people who are influencing these AI systems and creating them in order to fulfill an agenda for whatever their profit-seeking or control-seeking objectives are. And when I see Doge kind of going into every agency and addressing the IT department first, I see it as an opportunity to try to change reality itself.
But
again, dark enlightenment. Remember what we talked about, trying to change reality.
So what? Why am I telling you all of this? Palantir has no problem being seen as big brother, as all-powerful, as lethal even.
We're at the brink of using these technologies potentially to run our government, to run our battlefields, and our personal lives.
Jesus Christ.
Using artificial intelligence as a sort of panacea solution across our federal departments, and especially when they're, again, wielded by people with a very distinct agenda, puts everyone at risk.
It almost feels like that's been the plan all along. Here's co-founder Peter Thiel in 2010 at Libertopia, a libertarian conference, speaking about tech companies and government.
The basic idea was that we could never win an election on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
And here's
notice, folks, the obvious anti-democratic notion there that no, we don't want to have to argue with people. We don't want to have to succumb to the whims of the unwashed masses, right? We want to get around that. So we're going to bribe politicians and we're just going to, subjugate everyone with the technology because we know better. Yep, they've used Anduril. Yep, they should. Meowzord, Mithril, but trickle down. Yeah, okay. I have fixed myself to the tea of my favorite parasocial billionaire vessel. Maybe I can get a little milk. Oh, Meowzord, I love it. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Squid Kid, for following. Thank you for that. I believe that our government is using a form of AI to identify gang members. Yep, absolutely. JMac, when I think of libertarians, I just think about people arguing to get rid of age of consent laws. JMac, I am not going to argue with you on that. It seems like a lot of that is. A lot of folks who are libertarians just want to be able to unleash their worst and most disgusting desires. Okay. Now, there are a lot of younger libertarians who just don't know any better. But older ones, once you get to a certain age, I feel like a lot of libertarians are just there so that they can overcome some laws preventing them from doing the worst acts imaginable. Okay. Right, Louise. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
Carp in 2009 on civil liberties with regards to Palantir's work.
Absolutely. The central question, in my view, of civil liberties is how. It's not if the government has data, because let's assume the government has as much data as a health insurance company. It's how is that data being used? Is it being used in a way that's lawful? Meaning, do they have the right to use it? And is it being migrated into places it's not allowed to be used? We allow the enforcement of rules that government.
So Dolly Boy here says, shame that libertarians co-opted the term from the left. Yeah, I used to describe myself as a libertarian socialist, but I now say liberal socialist or democratic socialist because as soon as you hear the word libertarian, it really messes with that. Okay. Excellent. Okay, Meowzord. Good luck.
To enforce. And by the way, my experience is they want to enforce, or at the very least know they need to enforce. And if it's framed in that way, then you can have what is the ultimate Silicon Valley solution.
One co-founder openly wants to use the power of the tech industry to affect politics. The other wants his company to have oversight over how the government data they're paid to handle is used.
Of course they do. Of
And
course
the
they
founders
do.
of Palantir will retain control in the company no matter what through an obscure ownership structure. Their Class F shares grant them 49.99% of voting power, even if they collectively own as little as 6% of the company.
At the start of this journey, I was extremely afraid for the repercussions of this writing, of speaking out, but now I'm like, even more convinced that this is absolutely necessary.
We can't replace our current broken system with an even more broken one. And we can't let the worst people in Silicon Valley become our government.
It's not about whether you're actually at risk.
Real fast, Jonas has a really good point here. Jonas says, I believe these people control the world, creating a kind of modern feudalism in developing countries like Pakistan and Kenya, where they fund elections and dominate businesses. So, folks, they're doing that here, but you have to imagine that in less developed countries, in developing countries, this is a lot worse. Okay, a lot of developing countries not only have to deal with direct imperialism and colonization from European companies, American companies, now Chinese companies, etc. They also are dealing with these big corporations coming in and using their vast wealth to bribe politicians and things like that. So just something to remember. And Russia, by the way, also does that.
Speaking out or not, it's just the idea that somebody's watching you is enough to push people into silence.
We will hold you accountable. Because the American people are more powerful than Elon Musk. If you think we will get tired, then you have no idea who you're up against.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, that was really good. Thank you, Jonas. Oh, that was fantastic. Let's see here what else we got in chat here. Tiago, hey, don't talk bad about Europe. You're an American. Hey, Tiago, we're equal opportunity haters here. Okay, I will criticize any country, including China, European countries as well, some of the European corporations, as much as I can, because it's bad for humanity generally. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we got here. Let me see here. I got okay. Libertarians or Republicans that want no age of consent. That is so true, Alan. Okay, God. Okay. This is great. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, Alan. Let me do that real fast, folks. So before I get off here, folks, I'm gonna Alan sent us a clip of Peter Thiel talking about Palestine. I'm gonna find it real fast. Reactions. Okay, here we go. So, oh my God, I'm already enraged. I haven't even heard it yet. Okay, let's watch this real fast. Okay.
That a few people get
or not
wealthy.
Peter Thiel. Who is this guy? I don't even remember his name. I'm having a mind blank. Alex.
That
Alex
a few
something.
people get wealthy.
Okay, so let's watch this, folks, real fast. Yeah, neocolonialism was adopted by the right, JMac. Okay. Is this the one here? Okay, well, we'll just watch this one. Okay, so here we go. This is, I don't know, this idiot, Alex something, whatever the hell his name is, who cares? Tiago, I'll get to it, okay? There's a lot of reactions, and since we're on this topic. Okay, let's watch this real fast.
And if you said platitudes that were obviously stupid, you could get wealthy.
I'm going
and
to start it over.
That a few people get wealthy, and if you said platitudes that were obviously stupid, you could.
Getting wealthy off of killing Palestinians with Palestinians
Hero based.
with their AI and technology.
Oh.
For killing my family in Palestine.
Yeah. And you know.
I will say, more power to her. Do you see how he's shifting around in his seat? At the very least, she's making him uncomfortable, and I'm all for that. Make the billionaires uncomfortable again, if not afraid.
Well, if you do, you want to hear my answer?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So, I think the primary cause of death to Palestinians. Okay. Do you want to hear the answer, or do you want to yell?
Right, Mithril.
Well, you don't want to hear an answer? Obviously. So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact.
Oh my God, I don't even know if I want to hear this. It's gonna trigger me. Okay.
That Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots that will.
Because you are killing my people and you're justifying it because of Hamas or anyone else.
Can we get security up there?
There we go. Okay. Yes, it does. She's a hero.
Terrorists. That's true.
Oh my God, kills terrorists. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that, folks. Like, you all know, children. I don't even. Monster. And how the audience was like laughing, like, yeah, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I don't even have words. Oh God, I can't even. Oh.
I believe she believes I'm evil. I believe she's an unwitting product of an evil force, Hamas. That she unwittingly is part of their strategy, that she is a product. And the most important thing, arguably, in the
Yeah, you think that's Hamas, or do you think the fact that her family died might have made her a little bit upset? You think that? Like the idea that these people aren't human, that they don't have human emotions. Of course she's angry. What do you expect, you piece of shit? Jesus Christ.
The book, or what Palantir, or what you could learn, is do not become a product of an ideology that sounds sensible.
What is he doing? What is he doing? He is promoting an ideology that sounds sensible, but is about mass murder and controlling people through technology. Oh, the lack of self-awareness. These guys are always called geniuses and other bullshit. Oh.
That a few people get wealthy, and if you said platitudes that were obviously stupid, you could.
You're getting wealthy off of killing Palestinians.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh, the horror. Okay. I'm sorry, folks. I think I said originally that this was going to be a nice, relaxed Friday stream. Maybe I'll come back on later and do a gameplay or something to I don't know, get us palate cleansing type thing. Okay. So guys, let's see here. How long have we been going for here? I'm just double check here. I want to make sure I'm not getting off too early here. Sometimes I lose track of the time. Yeah, right, Joshua. Apparently, criticizing a government somehow is supporting Hamas. And folks, as for those who don't know, yeah, and guys, I have been getting multiple emails, multiple messages on social media from Zionists saying really horrific things about me. But again, I want to make clear, and I feel bad that I even have to say this, but we all know that this is not an issue of Judaism. This is not an issue of Judaism, okay? There are plenty of Jewish people who are some of my greatest heroes are Jewish people who are against what's happening in Palestine. But this constant conflation of, that especially the Israeli government does, claiming that any criticism of the Israeli government is anti-Semitic, is asinine. I cannot stand it. And it is bad. It is bad for Jewish people because the Israeli government is the number one source of trying to conflate those two things. It drives me insane. Okay. Yeah, thank you, MR. Welcome to chat, MR. These people are mad. What you are saying on the lack of self-awareness is insanely true, almost funny, but so sad. Yep, absolutely. It's depressing. Okay, guys. So I've been going for 2.5 hours. I'm going to get off now. I'm going to take a little break. I may come back on later, do a more light stream. I might play some like Dark Souls or something. I have a lot of game options. I might actually do yeah, you're right. Absolutely, Jay. I totally agree, J-Mac. This is not about Jewish people. It's about Zionism. And Israel is actually making the world a more dangerous place for Jewish people. And that is a massive concern of mine. Yeah, okay. Zionism is like a virus. It is horrific. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right, guys. Oh, absolutely, J. Mac. And don't forget, folks, there are, especially in America, there are tons of Christian Zionists. They're one of the biggest funders of AIPAC. Again, so this is not a Jewish issue. And I know you all know that, but you understand, like I was a historian. I studied fascism. I'm very wary of giving the impression that we're doing that whenever I talk about these things, I want to just make clear I am not speaking about Jewish people, okay? Okay. You all know that. I guess I'm just saying that for anyone out there watching who I don't know, okay? Because anti-Semitism is an issue, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a government that is committing horrible crimes, and a lot of folks around the world, Jewish and Christian, and atheists who support it. It's not an issue of Judaism. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know, J-Mac. I know you're right. Okay. All right, guys. So let me put my face up here. All right. Yeah, thank you, Tiago. Yes, free Palestine. Please free Palestine. All right, guys. So I'll probably come back on later, play a game or something kind of relaxed. Maybe. I'm a liar, so I may not. It depends on when to get some more stuff done today. Let me do my final. Thank you, Louise. You too. Let me do my last little thing here. You all know what's coming, especially those who have been here for a while. You all know what is coming. All right. So let me do my last little bit. Here we go. First and foremost, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. And that includes when you watch me. I am a human being. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Okay. Watch what other people have to say. Don't get caught in an information silo. We are not a cult. Look what other people have to say. Don't always trust what I say. Trust but verify. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourself. Second, we are living in a fascist moment in this country, not just in this country, but around the world. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions, so they turn to more radical means to fix that system. The best way to combat fascism, either to stop it or slow it down, is to enact major reforms. We need major reforms in this country and in elsewhere where fascism is rearing its ugly head. We need major reforms. You cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you. Please don't stand in the center. We need major reforms. Lastly, on the wall behind me is a sword. Okay, on the wall behind me is a sword. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker has been passed down in my family and is thought to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? I have it back there to remind all of you that many of our ancestors made massive sacrifices for some of the things we have today. Some of the civil rights, some of the economic freedoms, women's rights, tons of different rights we have because of the sacrifices of our ancestors. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste, people. Please don't let their sacrifice go to waste, and always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, you all have a good day, evening, morning, wherever you may be around the world. Have a good night.